It was nearly 20 years ago that I was sitting on a boat traveling up the Bosphorus Strait from Istanbul to the Black Sea. And I remember sitting there, overwhelmed by anxiety. And I had my notebook that I was carrying everywhere, and I was just writing and writing, and then I'd look up and enjoy a moment of peace. And then the anxiety would just swoop in. My thoughts were just so intense. And I was traveling through Turkey, and then I traveled through Europe, and I was sitting in St. Peter's Square outside of St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. And I remember going on a tour of the Vatican, and I just left and went and found a quiet, lonely spot and sat down and just cried. And I was just overwhelmed by this anxiety. And 20 years later, in my morning routine this morning, which includes some journaling, some meditation, some exercising, I wrote this line that I love my anxiety. I'm so grateful for my anxiety. And it's the truth that anxiety 20 years ago, that intense experience I had that lasted quite a bit, put me on a path of a transformational journey. And so who I am as a transformational coach, there are two goals that I have in working with clients. And the first is I support clients in feeling great. So just like my anxiety now is like a little meditation bell that reminds me to step into love, and I can love myself, I can love the thinking, I can love the feeling that's associated with anxiety and any other feeling. That's one outcome of working with me, is that I support people to feel great, to feel amazing, to fall in love with being alive, which is actually my commitment to humanity. Is I want to support people falling in love with being alive. The second leg of my work with people is in creating a life they love, right? So we no longer have to manage how we feel, and we no longer are seeking to do those things to feel the ways that we're looking to feel. When we gain some freedom and we gain some facility in feeling better more of the time, well, then the question becomes, what now? So the second leg of working, of my work with clients involves them creating a life they love. Now that doesn't necessarily mean changing their job. It doesn't mean changing their marriage, although it could mean those things, right? But what it certainly does mean is that my clients become agents in creating themselves and who they get to be in their lives. And that alters things. That alters our relationships. It alters our experience and the experience of the people around us. And it gives us access to new ways of thinking, new ways of acting, and new ways of being in our lives, such that things around us start to shift as well. So I wanted to share that my personal journey that began with some very intense anxiety and pushed me, like almost forced me onto this transformational path myself, has given me so much compassion for the full range of emotions that we experience. And so I'm committed that people fall in love with being alive. And that includes falling in love with our entire experience, the full range of emotions. And what we find is when we can fall in love with the full range of emotions, we then can handle any emotion that comes up. And from that place of good feeling, we then get an access to creating something new, right? Who is it I would love to be in my marriage? What would I love to experience in my family? Who would I love to be for my colleagues, for the people that I work with? And what would I love to create, right? So what does the future look like? We get a blank slate, and let's move forward in a way that calls to us, that speaks to our passions, speaks to our commitments, speaks to our intentions. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.